William, this is such an exciting role for you. The Many Saints of Newark. So how'd this role come together, and what was the audition process like for you?
That's a great question. I had been auditioning for 2 years, and then this audition came around, and it was really interesting because it wasn't like in any audition I'd been on before. Because I walked in and they normally have you stand up like behind this wall, like this big blue wall. But this casting director, Deborah Dion, who's so nice and amazing, she sat me down in this chair. I was like, okay, I guess this is comfortable. And I sat back, and then we started reading the lines. And I think she started to feel a connection with me, and we started talking more. She would give me a little bit of direction, a little bit more dramatic, a little bit more excited. And then we moved on to my favorite scene, which is the F word scene, where you say a bunch of F words. And we started talking more, and she gave me more direction. It was like a 15-minute audition, which never happens. They're usually at most like 3 minutes long. And after the audition, she came out and she talked to my mom, and that was another thing that never happens. And it was really cool, and it was looking up. And then 2 weeks later, I was like, I probably didn't get it. And I was sitting down doing my math homework, and my mom comes in with her phone recording and an envelope, and she hands it to me. And it reads with the Sopranos big title on the front. Congratulations, you booked the role of young Tony in the Many Saints of Newark Sopranos prequel movie. We're so effing excited for you.
That's awesome. So, for somebody my age, The Sopranos has such reverence about it, and you're obviously much younger. So before, this role came around, how much did you really know about The Sopranos? I don't imagine you were allowed to watch it, were you?
Yeah, it ended it ended the year I was born, which is crazy to think about.
You're making me feel so old.
When we got the audition, it was Untitled New Jersey Project, and it said Michael Gandolfini lookalike. And so we were like, we did a little bit of researching, and we figured out, oh, this is the Sopranos prequel movie. And so my parents got excited, obviously. Sorry, my dog is knocking on my door. My parents got excited, and I was like, what's the Sopranos? And they're like, it's this awesome, legendary show about Italian mobsters and family. And my dad sat down with me, and we watched a few episodes of the show, obviously skipping past a lot of big parts. It covered my eyes. I had to learn his mannerisms, like how he hunches his back like this, and sort of a feel for the accent, like his rolled lips and stuff. After I booked the role, we watched the whole first season together, my mom, my dad, and I. And then we watched a few extra episodes throughout the series. And I got a really good feel for how Tony is as an adult. And so the challenge was then to figure out how to portray him as a kid.
Yeah, and James Gandolfini, what a legendary role he did with Tony Soprano. So, after your parents explained to you and you saw the show, was there a lot of pressure? You're playing such an iconic character.
Right. Stepping into the shoes of Tony Soprano was honestly pretty terrifying at first. But pretty much the instant I booked the role, Michael Gandolfini, who plays teenage Tony, reached out to me, and he really helped me feel a lot better about stepping into these big shoes, because he explained to me what Tony means to people and how we can portray Tony and do a really good job.
Yeah, I did want to ask, about Michael, because I saw you thanked him for embracing you as his younger self. What did it mean for you to have that contact, and for him to, take you under his wing and, say this is awesome and fully support you?
No, from the beginning, he always referred to Tony as our character, which was really generous, because I know this means a lot to him and his family. And I personally, all I wanted to do was make Michael proud of me, and make him feel happy with what we did together.
I saw some of the set photos of you throwing a football around, and I was like, wow, he looks so, it was just like, this is what I would imagine Tony the Soprano to look like. It just blew me away. And I saw you playing football with Jon Bernthal, and he's such an incredible actor. How was it like working with him?
Well, Jon Bernthal is just so nice. He's such a big guy, so he's a little bit intimidating. But once you get to know him, you realize he's got this nice side, because he's such a great actor, and he gets into his character so much. when we're filming. But then right after they say cut, he goes back to being like, "Hey, how's it going? It's good to see you." And he'll give you a little side hug and be like, he'll rough you up a little bit. And he's like such a classic guy. It was really amazing working with John Bernthal.
Yeah, when I interviewed him, like he looked so intense even when he was like being so super nice. I definitely get the intimidating part. And
Totally.
there's so many great actors involved in this film, and Ray Liotta. I heard you got some great career advice from him. How was it like with him?
I did. I got some amazing advice from Ray Liotta. I don't have very many scenes with him, but one day he was talking with me and he gave me this really valuable piece of advice. And he said to not take yourself too seriously, because all we're doing is we're putting some gel in our hair and we're dressing up and we're playing pretend. And that's all we're doing. It's just an awesome job and we should be grateful for what we're doing. And we're not special because we can talk in an accent. We're just having fun. That's our job.
Wow, you brought it up. So about the accent, how difficult was it? How was it like working with a coach for this, getting that, accent down?
Yeah, Cole Calhoun was the dialect coach for this movie, and she's just so awesome and nice and amazing. And she really taught me like how Tony's face looks when he talks, like how his like lips are in a circle and how he kind of scrunches his face up like this. And she taught me how to say the F word right in an Italian accent. She would have me go around the house and point to certain things like effing computer, effing phone, effing table, effing dog. And my parents weren't exactly thrilled about that. but but they would be like, "Really, do you have to say it like so much?" And I was like, "Hey, I'm just doing my work, guys. I'm sorry." And they're like, "Fine."
Yeah, did that get you in trouble some? Where you're like, I'm just doing my effing work?
Exactly. That's what I always said. My little brother was also very excited. My little brother, Jack, he would always want to run lines with me. He'd be like, "Hey, can I run lines with Bubba, please? Can I please run lines with Bubba?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, okay, what?" And he was like, "Can we do the F word scene, please, please, please?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then my parents were like,
Amazing. This sounds like such a fun experience to film. And I read that you also like a lot of video games. I'm a big gamer. What do you usually play?
Well, I was really into playing Red Dead Redemption 2 a lot. I was playing that a lot during the quarantine. I have like $4,000 now, and I'm really proud of that. I grinded. um, but I just recently started playing Arma 3 with my friend, and we're really getting into that game now. We're like making our own game modes and like doing prefabs and stuff, and it's really fun.
That's awesome. And this is such a huge feature film to be in, especially for your first feature. Did it, you've done TV work before. Did the process of shooting a film surprise you any, or was it mostly similar?
What surprised me the most was seeing how much work goes into like just one shot. Like there's costume, hair and makeup. The director has to figure out what the shot's going to be like. The director of photography. There's the PAs who are probably one of the most helpful people on set. They help a lot. But yeah, just to get to saying action takes so much work, and it was really interesting to see that whole process.
And your dog tried to make a cameo earlier, so I have to ask, tell me a bit about your dog.
My dog, he's a really fat, chunky yellow lab.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of extra skin, and so you could literally pull up his skin, and he looked like what's that dinosaur called with all the spikes on the back?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about, like a
You know what I'm talking about?
stegosaur or something.
Like a
Yeah.
stegosaurus, yeah. You can pull up his skin, and it'll just look like a stegosaurus. And his face, his ears are so big. We'll call him Dumbo sometimes because he's really stupid. His name is Bo, and he has really big ears.
Without going into spoilers, obviously, did any scenes really stand out for you about the film? Was there any particular scene, maybe the F word scene, that really was a lot of fun to film?
I really liked it. I did really like filming that first scene a lot. Uh, that scene was actually in front of Holston's, which I think will resonate with a lot of Sopranos fans. And another really interesting scene is the scene between Alessandro, who plays Alessandro Nivola, who plays Dicky Moltisanti, and I in Tony's bedroom. It's this really intense heart-to-heart scene, and it really shows the relationship between Dicky and Tony, and how they're connected, and how Dicky has so much influence on Tony.
And then my last question here, David Chase, what a legendary director. Just how was it like receiving, direction from him and working with him?
Working with Mr. Chase was just so rewarding because he's a tough guy to impress. I'll be honest, but this one day we didn't have very much ad-libbing available because he picked out all these words so specifically and placed it in here in the script. But this one day he came up to me. It was the F word scene. He came up to me and he goes, "Hey William, instead of high school, how about you say F in high school? And I went like, yeah, okay, that's great." So we went back to Video Village and I had an extra F word to say. I was very proud of myself.
Man, I'm so excited for this film, but I think most of all, you've built it up so much. I'm excited to hear you say the F word in the film.
I am excited for people to see the movie and to hear the F word.
William, thank you so much for your time today. This was great.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.